18th day of April 2023 ke go leboge motheletši ka go ba ka mo lego gona ge le wena o tšere sebaka se gore amagela ka lapeng la gago motheletši go ka lebala tšhupa nako ya gago e re ke seripa gare go tšwa go iri ya bošupa ke na le wena tloga bjona fitlha mola iring ya senyane. Thank you very much for choosing 92.9 relevance made simple. Ke tshepa gore le wena motheletši o bile letšatši le le botse la lethabo la go iketla. Motheletši ke go kgopetša gape gore re gaša thui go tšwa diphapošing kgašo tša rena tša Mams Radio ka mono Mams Mall ka gare ga mpa ya motsemošate wa Afrika Borwa. Ba re ke tshwane a Mamelodi a patogeng ya Thaba ya Mogale mo o elelago dinoka tša Moretele. Motheletši ke mo e leng gore o tla re hwetša gona bošegong ba lekgono. Motheletši ke na le moyeng ka studiong o leng gore ke tlo boledišana le yena ka tša dipolotiki. Yeah, we're talking politics this evening, and without any further waste of time, let me take this opportunity and give it to my guest and allow him to introduce yourself. Good evening, my brother.
Good evening to all your listeners of Mams Radio.
Yeah.
And good evening to yourself. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Mpho Dagada, and I am the president of Arise South Africa. Arise South Africa is a political party born out of the country's urgent need to rescue itself from the forces that are holding it back. We sat down as young people and we realized that the country is not going in the direction it needs to go to. And we decided not to just complain, but to stand up and take an act and arise and make sure that young people's voice and young people's ideas are well felt and heard within our society.
All right, that's my guest this evening, Mpho Dagada. O leng gore motheletši o mokwele a re ke mopresidente wa mokgatlo wa dipolotiki o moswa o bitswago Arise SA. So this simply means it is Arise South Africa.
Yes.
So South Africa was sleeping.
Definitely. You know, where we got the name from Isaiah chapter 60, where it says, arise from the circumstances which life have kept you in.
Yeah.
It said, arise from depression to a new light. Yeah. Because when we look in South Africa right now, the country is depressed. We lose 80 billion per month to load shedding. Youth unemployment is at over 50%, meaning 1 in every 2 young person in South Africa who are able and capable to work are unemployed. The poverty rate is at over 50%. Over 100 women are raped in South Africa every day. Over 80 people are murdered in the nation every single day. We've got a system that doesn't work. Our potholes, our water, our electricity, our infrastructure, our country is not working. So everybody in South Africa at the moment is suffering from depression. And this depression has been caused by an enemy. So it can be difficult when you talk to somebody to say, join politics, join a new movement. They can say, but how do I join because I'm depressed? And you can understand why they're depressed, because what is going on in the nation is very depressing. When the wicked rule, the people complain. When the righteous are in power, the people rejoice. That's a proverb. Now, if you look in South Africa, what are people doing on a daily basis? Are they complaining or are they rejoicing? So we found that in South Africa, a majority of the people are complaining every single day. Load shedding, electricity, no jobs, the poverty. Every single day, we are hearing more and more of these complaints. So we had to take a strong stance and say, it's time to arise. We are dusting off ourselves from the depression. We are dusting off ourselves from the circumstances which this wicked government has kept us in. And we are arising to a new life created and functioning in the leadership of young people. As Arise South Africa, we believe in young leaders. We believe that young people are capable. Young people are able to lead the country to where it needs to go to. When you look throughout history, a classic example which every South African knows, and I like to use, David. The young man David, he brought down Goliath, a man that was a stumbling block to a nation. He was able to cut off his head. And from that day, we hear that that nation was able to rule under David and things went well. When you bring in a young person into power, it's as though you are bringing in fresh blood. A fresh new thing. You know, we speak of CIM doing a new thing. Sometimes the issues that we got are because it's old people, pensioners in power. You can't bring new ideas to an old person because some of them, their age has not allowed them to keep up to date to where the world is going. Today, we live in the fourth industrial revolution.
Yes.
We live in the age of technology. We live in the age of podcasting for an industry man like yourself, where our government should have already opened up podcast studios in Mamelodi so young people can podcast. However, they are far behind because those in power are not thinking the way that young people are thinking. And that's why we're saying we respect them. We respect the Nelson Mandela generation. We respect that they fought for our freedom as young people, and we honor that. But we also realize that they also, in some day in their life, June 1976, they also had to rise. They also had to dust themselves up from the circumstances of apartheid, and they rose to this government. Now we talk many more years later. There's now a new rising that's needed. And this rise of young people, we are arising to this new life, to this new world that we create, because young people have the solutions. Young people know where the world is going. Young people, every single day, they are full of new and fresh ideas. Young people have the strength. However, in our government and in our country, young people are suppressed. You know, I mentioned a speech at our launch in Sandton when we launched the political party this past Saturday. I said, South Africa is killing our youth because young people are finding themselves in taverns. Young people are finding themselves practicing unsafe sex. Young people are finding themselves in drugs because they don't have anything to do. Young people are finding themselves in depression because wherever they knock, they are told, you are too young, you don't have experience. They are told you don't know what you're talking about. And we are coming in as a collective of young people as we met to launch to say, young people, what you have gone through is wrong. Here we are, as young as you.
As I enter there,
while
you are still rolling, for the benefit of the listeners that are listening to this conversation right now, you are talking about Arise SA, which is unknown to some of us. You know, I only knew about Arise SA when I got my chief to say that. What is Arise SA? So if we were to talk about the political party, Arise SA, what is it exactly that we're talking about?
Now, when we speak about Arise South Africa, we are talking about a political party that is led by young people, a youth-led political party.
Yes.
I myself am running for the South Africa, and I'm just at the age of 30. I'm just there, so I'll be president at the age of 30. So it's a political party that believes in the future of the youth, and that is very focused on making sure that the youth take up the position in the country. We're a political party that believes in ideas. We are not a political 94. Talk about struggle songs. We're not, the struggle. Here in our political party, you don't become somebody because you are a cadre or because you've been in the struggle. You become somebody through ideas, because we looked all over the world and said the countries that have become developed today, Dubai, a country which had less than what South Africa had, but over time was able to build itself to even more than what South Africa is today. How did Dubai do it? They focused on ideas. They didn't focus on who's part of the struggle. They didn't focus on which family they focused on ideas. They said, let's refine our ideas. Let's give people who've got ideas, people that have traveled the world, people that know what's going on in the world. Let's give them the platform to implement the ideas. And through that, they became a society that values ideas, that innovates, that uses technology, and that creates many jobs for their people. And we at Arise follow the same ethos to say, we want young people, and we are a group of young people that are thinkers. Now, you might be asking yourself to say, what about us, the elderly? Because a lot of people usually say, when we hear this, we get intimidated to say, remember, the biggest headache of any elderly person today is the fact that their child is not working. It's the fact that their children are growing up, and yet they are not going to get a job. It's the fact that their children are growing up in an economy and a society that's not functioning well. And remember, majority of South Africa is young people. Our majority is very young. Now, if the young majority is growing up only for them to suffer, what future are you building for them as an elderly person? So we've seen that the elderly community are the ones saying, he's right. Let's give it a young people a try, because we've given the old people a try. We gave them a try. Since 1994, we've been giving these old people a try, and things are getting worse. Let's give these young people a try. Let's see what these young people can do.
Okay, Mamposa, I hear you. But now, the other thing that, I'm asking these questions because I just want our listeners to get an understanding of the political party first, Arise South Africa. You said it was launched in Sandton on Saturday. So, which simply means that this is a brand new political party. It is a newly born baby.
Yes.
When was the party established?
Now, the party was established not so long ago. Now, I myself come from a background where I advised the government on the fourth industrial revolution.
Yes.
I myself have been a tech entrepreneur. I've been very successful in businesses in terms of the technical space or the technology space. And I've been able to build a couple of empires within that space. And within my building, I was approached by the government of South Africa, the president of South Africa, to say, come and advise government on the fourth industrial revolution. And the job that I was given was to ensure that South Africa is ready for the fourth industrial revolution. And I got to work with many other leaders in our country, including the former Vice Chancellor of UJ, Chirizima Rara, who's now at the UN University, the MTN CEOs. And many of us came and we comprised part of the fourth industrial revolution commission in South Africa. And we compiled a very big document on how the country can take part in the fourth industrial revolution. After compiling this document, we then submitted it to the president and cabinet ministers. But what we realized very quickly is that those in power, the cabinet ministers, were not interested in the solutions that we had as young people, because these solutions were technology solutions. These solutions were how to fix our healthcare, how to fix our transport, the Internet of Things, blockchain technologies, solutions that would let our country catch up with where other countries are. And as a result of that process, I then realized that the issue that we've got in South Africa is not ideas. Because young people are full of ideas. We have a lot of ideas, and there's lots of wisdom in Africa. Not only wisdom, we have minerals, we also have our land. The problem that we have is implementation. Those that implement are corrupt. Those that implement don't know what they're doing. Those that implement are too old. Those that implement are only thinking about themselves and their few collective. Those that implement keep stealing from our people. So I realized that it's important to form this new political party where we are not going to be basing your experience on, who you are or the stature out there, but basing it on ideas. Also, basing it on principles of righteousness, basing it on ideas that will move the economy forward, and implementing technology that will allow our political party and South Africa to catch up with the rest of the world. I mean, when you talk about Arise, we're a political party. There is a lot of WhatsApp groups that are formatted. And these WhatsApp groups, young people share ideas on a daily basis. One will say, I have an idea on transport. The other one will say, I have an idea on the economy. The other one will say, I have an idea on the gold or the minerals of our country, where young people's ideas are flowing every day. And we are now building an app as young people, where this application, we can now communicate with one another and keep one another in check. An app where you'll be able to just take a picture of the pothole and immediately it uploads it through the Internet of Things to the government system. And there's a track record of how long it takes. We are making sure that the ills and the problems that we've got today can be fixed in technology. And we are doing this because we are young and we are agile and we are ready. Because a lot of people tend to think that young people are not ready to lead the country. Look at what the pensioners have done. The load shedding, the potholes, the unemployment, the poverty. I think it's about time we give it to young people and we see what young people could do. Because I can tell you now, when we look at the Facebook and we look at the Instagram and we look at the Twitter and we look at all these platforms that exist, they were created by young people.
All right, my time says it is 15 minutes before the hour, 8 o'clock. If you've just tuned in, good evening and welcome. Mchele chwa Mams Radio. Pushong malkono kinale moyeng o eleng gore ke mo presidente wa mokgatlo o moswa eleng gore o fetjwa go lontshiwa mokgatlo o bitswa go Arise South Africa ke dutse le Morena Mpho Takada. Re ke bolela ka matlo a ka gona go nna ke moswa, still young, looking energetic, and he's saying he's ready to govern and lead South Africa.
Itadaso, ikaba utsumana le tusha ditirelo tša tše di latelago o tsenyetšwa aircom o mpšhafatša le go lokiša ditsidifatši.
Are we doing okay?
Ka moka go ditirišwa tša motlakase rena re le ba mamba air perfection re bokomane ka nna go ka moka o tšeo di tsopotšwego re o tshepiša ka theko o tšhikara ke maitemogelo a go lekana mengwaga ye lesomehlano re le sefaleng mošomo o tšhaba diatla re kgolofetša go neela ditirelo tša go tšea gabotse ikopantše le rena ka email go agrimamba@gmail.com goba wa re letšetša go 082-971-9404.
And after recording, something is saving now. The technical guys tomorrow, because I don't know how they do it. Your saver as a document. Like one of my issue. It's more like a document, but one of my convertible
closed off in accesses and relocated in to safer areas. When we say Indlela Azikanye, we mean it. Sunrise, Properties, an agency of the Department of Transport.
Security and Friends.
Hello to everybody. Hello, we're on Mams FM 99.2 here in Mamilo. And we are letting everybody know about Arise. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please send your greeting in the comment section. And let's all type Arise in the comment section. Arise, South Africa. Thank you so much. Let's continue with the interview.
Tomorrow,
ikopanya le rena ka monkgwa mogala go 061 524 4993 Lepai Security and Training.
CBG in 90001E.
Fellow South Africans, today I'm announcing a number of changes to the national executive of our culinary cabinet that we have always enjoyed in Mzansi. As of today, Cross and Blackwell Mayonnaise will remain the minister in the portfolio of the tangy potato salad and sandwiches. Minister in the cabinet responsible for casseroles and dips will be the Honorable Mrs. Balls and her deputies, sweet chili and jalapeno flavors. There'll be a new minister in the steaming stews portfolio with penny stock cubes ensuring a delivery of mouth-watering goodness to the people. We'll also be adding Gasi Magic to the cabinet, taking over the portfolio of Spikos and Amakota to the delight of many of our hard-working South Africans. In a joint effort to power the taste buds of the children of South Africa, the Ministry of Spreads will be run by the Honorable Black Cat and All Gold Gems. Cool will remain the Minister of Seven Colors, a portfolio that has served the people since Van Duka off. And last but not least, All Gold Tomato Sauce will remain Minister in the portfolio of our beloved Boerewors rolls, chips, and everything else. With the Tiger Brands cabinet, only the best will do.
Relevant conversations that shape society. On Mams Talk with JM Lekhao, 92.9.
Mams Radio 92.9. Relevance made simple.
It is exactly 10 minutes before the hour 8 o'clock. Mitsuzuki Elisome Pelega Iriasi Swai. Then I'll get a Mams Talk on Mams Radio with me, JM Wagalekao, Muchilicho Mams Radio, Renore, Musomo Corona, Ubela Salem, Moya Sagaru, Ubacona, Tanakala Bing, Ubarica Raproana, Elore, Ilibina Rai, Urisha Rai, Muchilichi, Tiba Shumal Kono, Kiduchi, Le Morena, Mpo Dagada, Yanaki, Mu Presidente, Wamokatro, Omuswa, Olore. Ubijwa Arise South Africa ke mokgatlo leng gore o fetjwa go lontshiwa ka mo Santeni mo bekeng e fitilego bela ge nna le ena re bolishana ka mokgatlo wo wa gagwe o leng gore o tswetswe ko moswa re a tseba na le wena gore go na le mekgatlo e leng gore ke mentši be ile gona mo nageng ya borena mekgatlo ya thoma come 2024 we know that we will be facing the new or rather we will be facing the elections of the new government and they are saying they are ready to govern the country. Re tlo tswela pele ka poledišano nna le Morena Mpho Dakada re kwe gore bona bjale ka mokgatlo o bitswago Arise SA ke eng tše leng gore ba re golofetša tšona bjale ka maAfrika Borwa. Mamposa, as we continue with the conversation, you know, I'm tempted to call you Mamposa because you look so young, so I need to come to your level. Yeah, and not this formal nothing talking to the president. You know? All right, then as we continue with our conversation, Mamposa, I'm looking at the timing of the launch of or the establishment of your political party. As I just alluded that come 2024, we will be going into the national elections.
Yeah.
And you are saying you'll be contesting the national elections. Do you think that the time is right for you to can start contesting for the national elections, or you should have started with the local so that we know the track record of your political party, we know what you can do for us, at least we'll be knowing that, yeah. But you remember the Arise SA, they had a seat Kuswani, they had a seat Joburg, they had a seat in the in KwaZulu-Natal, in Durban municipality, in Cape Town, in Bloemfontein. So we know what they can do. So do you think that you stand a good chance come 2024?
So the reason why we've launched, and you know, we had to make sure that we are ready, and we've done everything to ensure that we are ready for our 2024 election, is because we realize the danger of not doing anything. Our country right now is at a tipping point. It's at a point where if no one does something, we are going to end up worse than where we see Zimbabwe. And the worst thing that we want to do is we don't want to sit and fold our arms and blame one another after the 2024 elections and say, what did we do wrong? I can tell you already what Zimbabwe did wrong. What Zimbabwe did wrong when they were unhappy with what was going on is that they stopped voting.
Okay.
They stopped going out and starting new political parties. They only left it up to ZANU-PF until ZANU-PF drove them straight to the ground. And what we as young people are saying is we can't be like Zimbabwe. We've learned from our neighbors in Zimbabwe to say there is a danger in allowing the ruling party to just continue ruling. And that danger is that you will never recover. So we quickly stood up as young people and said, before we get to where Zimbabwe is, let's stand up. Let's arise. Because we know it for sure what it looks like if we do nothing. But we don't know on the other side to say, if we do change our votes, if we gather young people and say, young people, old people, we know you are tired of politicians. We know you are tired of hearing about politics. But I want to remind you, the same trend happened in Zimbabwe. And they did nothing. And ZANU-PF kept running the country to the ground. Young people were not standing up, or they were not doing enough. Now in South Africa, we are saying it's a different story. We are here, we are young, we are standing up. We are not only standing up, we have experience. We have studied from the best. We have traveled all around the world. We have done the due diligence to learn what we need to learn. Now it's time to arise. So we are going around every community, every town, even here in Mamelodi. We are launching our branches here in Mamelodi. So we are looking for leaders that want to work with us, because it is people that will be sending from this community that will be sending them to go and represent this community in parliament. That will be sending young people to go and represent this community in the Gauteng legislature. Because our ideas as young people, it has come to the time where we now say it's time. The appointed time has arrived. The perfect time has arrived, where it's now time for young people to change the narrative, to change the story, to change the gear of our nation, South Africa.
All right, 4 minutes before the hour, 8 o'clock, it is Mams Talk on Mams Radio with me, JM.